Welcome to the Whispers from the Shadow podcast. I'm Jimmy,
I'm Miz.
and for tonight, we're going to be talking about upcoming movies that we're actually kind of excited for, and some upcoming movies to kind of look out for, as well as some of our recommendations. So I'm going to ask this guy to you guys out there: what movies are you excited for this year, and what do you recommend? What do you recommend for us to watch? Give us your honest opinions and everything like that. I've got two lists in front of me. One's from Screen Rant, which hit or miss with them for the most part. And then I have just Googled like a whole bunch of them. So I've got lists for us to go off of, and not from Rotten Tomatoes, thankfully. Like,
yeah, we don't ever go based off of Rotten Tomatoes because fucking Rotten Tomatoes is fucking terrible.
They're so biased when it comes.
What editors and people fucking say this. Like, again, I love subjective and opinions, like, because some people like this movie, some people don't. I want to form my own, but I do like to hear both sides. What was good about it? What was bad about it? Other than just, oh, it was not good.
Yeah, and Rotten Tomatoes is their credibility has gone down a lot in the last 2 years because they're just, sorry to say, they're just not good.
They're just not good. It's just not good.
Like they're biased towards horror movies in and of itself is just terrible.
Everybody's opinion on fucking horror movies is what sucks, dude. Like, horror movies are not taken into consideration as good, great movies. The only time it really was what Silence of the Lambs, realistically, and Psycho that everyone else uses. That's about it.
Yeah,
no one really fucking is like, let's praise this horror movie for X, Y, and Z. It's just like, no, it's a horror movie. Immediate no.
Yeah, I actually have to agree because it's like. It's just like, it's a horror movie. It's got good plot. It's got good cinematography. And it's got a great storyline. It was shit. It's like,
Yeah. It's, oh my God. It's a horror immediate no.
So I'm going to save this one for last because it's already came out. But I want to know your honest opinion of it because I haven't seen it myself just yet. But I'm going to start the list off with a Nicolas Cage film, Renfield. It's supposed to come out April 14th. I actually kind of want to see it because
I'm definitely going to see it. I want to see I want to see a modern version of Dracula Dead and Loving It. And that's what I feel like this is going to be. I love Dracula Dead and Loving It. It is a fantastic film. It's like probably my third favorite Mel Brooks films. I love that film. So to see that, like in a modern day setting, which I normally don't like, but I know it's not taking itself seriously. That's exactly why I'm excited for it. Because I know it's not going to try and be like this. We're trying to be super serious with some comedy in it. It's just completely like, yes, I'm all on board.
Because I saw the trailer for it, and I don't know the actor that's supposed to be Nicolas Cage's co-star.
Renfield itself, right?
Yeah, I don't know his name. Yeah, and he's falling off of like a balcony or something like that, and he just stomps on the back of someone's head as he's falling by his love interest, and he's just like, she just seen that. Oh no. And I was like, you know what? I was kind of like jaded because I was like, oh God, Nicolas Cage, he's gonna overact, which is sometimes funny. Face Off, but
I love Face Off.
I did too.
Film. Fantastic film.
Con Air. That was.
I love Con Air too. Put just the money down. He's done a lot of great movies. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I'm excited for it. Nicholas Hoult is his name, by the way, because that's
thank you.
Beast in the First Class movie.
Yep, that is.
He's also really good in The Menu. If you have not seen that, is a very, very good movie. Very good satirical film.
I've been kind of wanting to watch that because I watched a clip on it. It seems very.
It's don't go into it expecting like this fantastic thing, but go into it just like expecting that you think you know where it's going, but you're not, because there's like two scenes that when it happened in the theater the first time I saw it, I was just like, whoa, fuck yeah, it's just so good.
I love that. Good. Because I saw a clip of it where it was like the food tells people about their lives and secrets they're trying to hide. And that's all I got from the clip. Oh, yeah.
The tortillas. Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
that's very early in the film, but it's fantastic. It's such a good film.
So there's another recommendation. It's already out. Go check it out. I coming from a high recommendation. And this is someone.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
And for Miz to say that he loves something, it takes a lot. And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that because I consider him a snob or anything like that. But he's one of the people that's like, oh, that's mainstream. I'll wait for it to be uncool for me to like it. Like, no offense, Miz.
No. I feel that it's not even like that sense. It's just like it just happens to be that way. Like something that's popular, immediately I'm just like, okay, it's popular, cool. If I'm already part of that part of popularity, it is whatever. But if it's something super popular, people keep praising. And I watch it and I don't get that expectation. It's like, well, it's ruined because you guys praised it to be this thing. Now it's shit. That's why. So that's why I try not to praise too many things too much. But when I do love something, I will overtly do it, which kind of can do that to someone else. But that's why I always tell everyone, this is totally me. I'm going to fanboy over this or whatever. You don't have to do that. Go into it with your own opinion. But there's certain things that I absolutely love and will say it that way.
Yeah.
But I do normally shit on everything. Like I said,
I can agree with that. I can agree with that because I'm like that to a certain extent. So some of it I'm like, okay, not for me. But yeah, I get that.
Ooh,
but yeah, so from both of us, I'm excited for Renfield. Miz is excited for Renfield.
I'm absolutely excited for it. 100%.
I can't wait to see like what it offers because as soon as I saw a vampire Nicolas Cage film, I was just like, And then I seen that the tags were dark humor. I'm like, oh, they were like horror movie, vampire. I was like, wait a minute. You have my interest now.
For me, it was like, oh, Nicolas Cage is starring in a fucking vampire movie. It's like, okay, it's Nicolas Cage. That doesn't surprise me. And also, I didn't even know the trailer for Renfield was promoting that because I just saw Renfield. I was like, they're doing another Dracula movie. And then I saw Nick Cage. I was like, oh, this is the movie they were talking about. And I was like, I wonder if they're going to do it serious. And then I was kind of watching more of the trailer. I was like, oh my God, this looks so stupid. I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
That's what caught me was like, I saw the trailer for it. And at first I was like, and then I seen the tags for it for the official trailer. And I was like, you know what?
I'm on board.
I like Nicolas Cage as an actor. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that he's never acted in anything in horror in itself, besides I hate to say it, Ghost Rider, like that's the only close.
Not really horror, but I get what you're getting at. More darker, quote unquote theme.
Yeah. Because most of the time it's been like some. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's been in Wicker Man.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about Wicker Man.
Of Wicker Man.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
One of my favorite remakes, but it's at least stayed true.
Yeah, the bees.
Yeah, bee mask. No,
that it wasn't too bad. The original
for what it was. It's a very good remake. It's just that movie and that storytelling I felt can be considered ahead of its time because like I pointed out, I think it was last episode or so. Absolutely hated fucking oh my God, I already forgot. Not Hereditary. What's Hereditary? Midsommar.
Yeah.
How I hated Hereditary because that whole cult feel, but I loved Midsommar on that cult feel. And I felt like Wicker Man, even though it's a remake, the original was done better, but trying to bring that culty feel into today, with Midsommar, Hereditary, and so on and so forth. I felt like it was a little bit more ahead of that because you really didn't see too many films like that during that, what was it, mid 2000s?
Yeah.
It was more of supernatural and zombies was the big horror theme. Well, if you want to see something different, you got to see a lot of B horrors.
Yeah. And B horrors are a freaking classification all their own. We could do 3 hours just talking about B horror movies because I've got a list.
I've been so out of B horror movies. I need to catch up on so many. Like I said, it's my foreign horror. I need to get back onto that because one of my favorites was Dead Snow. I love that movie.
That was a good one. Yeah, that's a good recommendation that comes from both of us because I liked Dead Snow 1. I was on the fence about Dead Snow 2.
The second one. I have not seen the second one.
I'm on the fence about it. I don't think it was good, but I don't think it was bad. I think it did some. Yeah, to me, it was. It improved on what the first one. It improved on what the first one did. That was good, but it had its own parts that I was kind of
that's stretching.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay, I guess. But yeah. So yeah, Renfield comes out April 14th. So this month, 2023. I'm excited for that.
In 9 days.
Is it 9 days? It is 9 days. Oh my god!
Next
Yay! Week. So next up, we mentioned this on the last one or the one before. I can't remember. Yeah, it was the last one because we talked about Ash. Evil Dead Rise.
I am stoked because I loved how visceral, practical, bloody, and just all out it was in the first one. I loved it. Its fucking makeup was great. Oh my god! We talked about the Necronomicon and that being all flesh and sewn together is just beautiful. Oh my god! I fell in love with that book. I want that book.
It was like the practical effects in that alone were just amazing.
Oh fuck yeah! No, they were amazing. And then like this new one, when I went to go see Army of Darkness with Sir Bruce Campbell, thank you. He was talking about it and like letting me know, or like letting the crowd know about some of the stuff, not like going into detail or ruining or spoiling it. But he's just like, yeah, it's gonna be really fucking bloody. If you guys like any of these, you'll fucking love this. Did you like the old one? Everyone's all yeah, or like the new remake one. And he's like, you guys like that one? Yeah, this one's better. I was like, oh my god, I'm excited when it's.
Like the only thing I kind of wish that they would have done with the newer Army of Darkness Evil Dead franchise is just have like Bruce Campbell do a cameo of some kind. That's the only thing that I kind of wanted.
I would like that too, but
yeah,
it takes away that serious nature because the original Evil Dead was supposed to be a serious film, but it came off super comedic and everything like that. So Sam Raimi was just kind of rolling with it that way in the sense. But this new one was very, very raw. I loved that. It was very just fucking brutal and just in your face graphic. And I just fell in love with that. Yeah. It's like, I would still have loved to see Bruce in there. Don't get me wrong, but like, no offense to the man. Like, what did it contribute? Because I would that's how you have to look at it. Like, how is that a way to introduce Ash into here for one? Two, like, is he actually Ash? Or are they even going to mention Ash? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, because I don't think the girl that played Ash in the first one is in this one. I'm not entirely sure on that, so don't quote me there.
I think it's supposed to be a whole new cast, if I'm not mistaken.
And but I will
brought into like a city or a modern area instead of that cabin in the woods.
Yeah, because it's in a high rise apartment building. From what I've seen from tidbits of different trailers, because there's like 3 or 4 out now.
I avoid as much. I see a trailer. If it hooks me, it hooks me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I try and avoid trailers because I'm the kind of person that will watch a trailer and literally like, okay, this happened in the trailer. I'm looking for this specific scene because I want to see how this scene is.
Yeah,
and I'm counting that in my head. Like, when's this scene popping up? Okay, it's near the end of the movie, so I know if I see that scene, we're close to the end, kind of thing. Or they don't even use that scene in the fucking edited film for the theaters and stuff like that. It's like, fuck. Okay, I just waited for nothing. But that's how my mind works. I pan in to trailers and see where is it going to be in the movie. And then when I'm watching the movie, that's all I'm thinking about. It's like, okay, we haven't seen this scene yet. We haven't seen this scene yet.
I hate when they have a scene in the trailer that looks just so good and then they don't include it in the movie. That's for all movies. I hate when they do that. That's
the deleted scenes and all that fun jazz where it's like, fuck, dude, you should just let this in.
Yeah. Or even worse, they just shot it specifically for the trailer. That was a bad thing in the 2000s.
Oh my God. It's like, oh, that was just a trailer promo. You mean that's not even the fucking movie? That looked clean.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the prime example of one of the things that I actually loved about the promotion for Prometheus was when they had Guy Pearce be Peter Wayland and he does his speech at the TED Talk. Oh my God, I loved that. And then they did the David model one and there was another one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do like when certain trailers are for trailers only.
Yeah,
but I do have a problem with it because it's like I want to see more of that at points.
I have to agree. And then also good news, Sam Raimi's directing this one as well, The Evil Dead Rise. So, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I think Sam Raimi is coming to his own light from doing a bunch of different movies, not just horror, but I think he's like one of the new kings of horror, even though he's been around for been around 40 years?
Years, yeah. He's been around for years. Because I mean, everyone knows the Spider-Mans and so on and so forth. Like, that's because he's a bigger producer right now instead of his directing right now. Because his last directed film was Doctor Strange, I do believe.
Was it?
I think that was his last directing one, which was last year. But yeah, no, fucking, he's always been his own little element. Because like my personal one that I absolutely love, and it's like him and Danny Elfman, the way they worked really well together on that was Darkman. I absolutely loved Darkman.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
So like I'm biased on that. It's like my love for George Miller. It really is. But there's, like I said, I'm the kind of person too. Like I understand how good like Spielberg, Lucas, all these directors are. Male, female, all of the directors are amazing in their own right. Like you got the Wachowski siblings and so on and so forth. But just because they're a part of it does not mean I'm gonna love every project they do. Like I love Lucas, but not all of his films do I love. I love Spielberg, not all of his films I love.
Yeah, very true. I like Darkman because it was one of my, I would say one of my earliest introductions to like superhero movies.
That's fair. I would say the same, that The Guyver and honestly like beat Power Rangers. Honestly, like those three things really kind of got me into that like whole superhero world. And my brother and sister are watching like X-Men, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Fantastic Four, and all that fun jazz.
Yeah, that's true. But moving on from Resident Evil Rise, which I'm excited for. Miz is excited for. It comes out
the 24th, I do believe.
21st. Comes out the 21st of April. Another movie that's coming out on 21st of April is Salem's Lot.
Didn't they just do a Salem's Lot?
No, they just did Doctor Sleep, which I kind of liked.
They did do a Salem's Lot, didn't they?
I think they. I know they did. I know they did a remake on Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary is the one they did. My bad. Yeah, you're right. Pet Sematary was the one they redid, not Salem's Lot. You're right. I'm dumb. I forgot my King books. I apologize.
No, you're fine. I used to mix them up too. The only reason that I stopped doing that was because I remember I read Salem's Lot, but I didn't read Pet Sematary. I have not read Pet Sematary, so I don't know the differences between those two movies. But I know the first Salem's Lot wasn't as good as it could have been. But I don't know how to feel about a remake of something that they've, I'm not a big fan of remakes. And
it depends on how they're done, but I'm with you most of the time. Most remakes, I'm just like, not for me.
Yeah, like this one, I'm not entirely sure of how to feel about it, because I'm like, oh, they're coming out with another Salem's Lot. Okay. And it's being written by the same guy that wrote the Annabelle series and It, the new one. I'm sorry, he's directing it. Oh, he's okay. The one. He's directing it.
Who directed It?
His name is Gary Dauberman.
Okay.
Dauberman.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one comes mixed emotions for me, because like I got to see how they did on this one.
I'm excited for it for the sole fact of like, I do love King books. I do love their adaptations, good, bad, or indifferent. Like I said before, like Silver Bullet being like super cheesy and whatnot, but I absolutely love that movie and I still love that book. It's cheesy as it has a place in my heart. But
I didn't like that it was direct to DVD.
It was on TV a lot too, so I mean it wasn't that bad. Same with the Langolors, but that's a whole nother thing.
Oh, and Rose Red was another one that they did for I think it was USA way back in the day, which that movie is good. Miniseries. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was a miniseries because there's a couple. I think Eye of the Storm was also either a miniseries or a movie. One of the
Perfect Storm.
Perfect Storm. Yeah. I'm excited for it in the sense of like, I love seeing modernizations of miniseries and or books done better.
That's fair.
For example, being It, like I'm never shitting on Tim Curry's role as Pennywise. But it's like when you do, like me and my wife were watching that miniseries and then watching the new It's right afterwards. And it's like, I forgot how downplayed it was in the 90s for a lot of stuff, and just how much they filled it with dialogue and more than it needed to be. I was like, oh my God.
I have to agree. I did like the new series of It, but I like Tim Curry's It. They're two different It's for me. because
I tell everybody it's the same way I do the differentiation, separating Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's Joker. They're a product of their time. They are a product of the era. You have to separate them. You cannot compare. Because that's like saying, okay, let's compare Lon Chaney Sr.'s Family Opera to Gerard Butler's in 2006, 2007.
That's fair.
That's almost 100-year difference. You can't compare them. Even the 10-year difference is a huge gap.
That really is fair, because I feel like talking about Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's Joker. Jack Nicholson's Joker was the gangster, the mobster, the guy that was like, I'm all about the money. Whereas Heath Ledger's Joker was, I'm all about the chaos. He was more of a businessman than anything else. Like, he was basically just doing it for, not so much for the lulz, quote unquote, but he's the one that's doing it for a purpose. Like, he has a reason behind everything he does. Like, he burned half of the mob's cash just to prove a point. He's like, it's not about the money.
Mm-hmm. No, there's a lot with it, but again, separated, because you can't really compare them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can understand the association because they're both playing the same character, but I mean, the better like representation would be like trying to compare Jared Leto to Heath Ledger, in a sense, which are two, again, drastically different ones for one. And I hated how they just made that Joker look specifically.
Yeah, I didn't like his look either.
That's all. I thought he would have been fine. It's just I don't like the look.
Yeah,
but and that's a whole nother area.
And I mean, he Jared Leto's Joker was more of the clown than the other two, whereas like Jared Leto was meant for like, why am I shooting this guy in the face? Because it's funny to me. And he was just more of the madman, the clown, the deranged lunatic that we are familiar with the comics, the movie, animated series, movies.
I was gonna say, like, every time I hear like, who's your Batman, who's your Joker, it's always gonna be Mark Hamill and fucking Kevin Conroy. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. That'll always be my Joker and my Batman. Always.
I just want to learn to do Heath Ledger's laugh as well as Mark Hamill's Joker laugh, because it's just so iconic.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, if I could ever emulate a specific voice, I would want to emulate Kevin Conroy's Batman. I love his voice. It's like, if I could, I would love to do
Optimus Prime.
Oh my god. Yeah, Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen. Sorry. I don't remember his name. Peter Cullen. That's Optimus's voice.
Oh yeah. That would be honest. So on Salem's Lot, it comes out April 21st. Mixed emotions from me.
I'm excited for it just because I want to see how they kind of do the updated version of it, in a sense. That I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I get that. It's just,
I like it. That's another story.
Yeah, I got to see how they do it for me to be like, I liked it. I didn't like it. This one, I'm like, we'll see.
It's either I'm going to go to the theater or I'm going to fucking wait till it's on DVD. One or the other. We'll see what happens. Or wait till it's streaming.
That's the way I've been doing a lot of movies. I don't like going to my theater. It's gross. Floors are always sticky. But I know that's supposed to be part of the experience.
It's not sweet.
Yeah. Like, ugh. But yeah, that I don't know. I like mixed emotions for me, honestly. I gotta wait to see it to make a judgment call on that one. Mm-hmm. Another Stephen King book that's actually coming out in movie form is The Boogeyman, June 2nd.
Yes, because that is based off of the one that was like in, I think, 2006, 2007.
Something like that, yeah.
The movie back in like 2006, 2007 was not as good as I wanted to, but I will never not deny that opening. That opening is like some of the most relatable, real shit any kid has ever felt at like fucking 9 at night when all the lights are off and the parents just fucking walked out.
Wait.
Oh my God.
I didn't realize that was a Stephen King book. That Boogeyman that came out when we were teenagers.
Yeah. It should have been based off of the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. If it isn't, then I'm mistaken. If it is, either way, like, and this new one, I hope if it is in any way, shape, or form like that one, if they keep that intro and then keep it super dark as they have, like, are promoting it in a sense, I think it'd be fantastic. I think it would be. So I'm a little bit hesitant, only because honestly, I'm going to base it all off of that opening scene. I really am. And because that opening scene set that whole tone.
For me, if they're doing a remake like what we're thinking that it might be, My only thing is that as long as it is better than the second one, I'll be happy.
They made a second one?
They made a second one. It was terrible. It was the Boogeyman 2, and it was just like they actually like show what the Boogeyman looks like. They show that, they show all these different factors and stuff like that, and then you're just sitting there and you're like, that
what's this got to do with it?
That this contradicts the first one, but this part makes the first one make sense, but that part makes no sense. It left you with more questions than it answered. I was just like, wait. I think they were setting up for a third one, but I'm not entirely sure.
No, why? And that's one thing, especially with horror movies, I will make a quick complaint on, is I hate how many fucking sequels you guys need to fucking have out there. Yeah, it did a great job. Yeah, I love the Saw franchise, but goddamn, we don't need fucking 9 of them.
Yeah.
If it stopped after 4, I would be like, amazing series. And then it just kept on going on. It became more body horror and just fucking
like less story, porn. More gore. Yeah.
Yeah, it just became torture porn. It was just like, okay. Yeah, that's an ingenious trap. Cool.
Yeah. So I gotta say, for Boogeyman, comes out June 2nd this year. I'm another one I gotta see how they're gonna do it.
I'm basing it all off the opening scene. If it goes based off the opening scene, you'll probably hear a great thing from me, and that'd be about it. But till then, I am very hesitant and skeptical of it because I don't know how to feel about it.
That's very fair. That's kind of how I am right now with it. I want to be excited for it, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I want to be there. I'm just not.
Yeah. Next on the list, Insidious 5 comes out July 7th. This is going on. I haven't
heard anything on that. I didn't know they were doing another Insidious.
Yeah, this one is. Let's see.
Are James and Lee a part of it? Are they the producers, writers, or anything that you know of? I'm gonna look this up now. You got me all fucked up. I did not know there was another Insidious coming out. I actually really love those movies. Those movies
I'm not sure, but it has Patrick Wilson in it still.
Yeah, he's supposed to come back. I did hear something about,
and he's going to be directing it as well.
Coming back. Patrick Wilson's directing this one. Interesting.
Yes, okay. He is directing this one. It says, the Conjuring actor most famous for playing Ed Warren, Patrick Wilson, will sit in the director's chair for Insidious Fear of the Dark. That's the name of number 5.
I see it. Fear of the Dark. Yeah.
One of the horror movies coming out soon.
Lee is a writer on it.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, I see Dalton Lambert. Yeah. Still played by Ty Simpkins. So Ty Simpkins. Wait, is that the kid?
Okay, cool. James Wan and Lee Winnell are producers on it still, so I have nothing but faith in that. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll say I am too. Yeah, no, I'm down for that because the Insidious series, to me, what I love about it is that it does the paranormal and real horror like very, very well. Again, Lipstick Demon in the first one is such a fantastic scene. The bride or the woman in black from the second one's really, really good. The third one, what was that one?
The third one. Was that the Crooked Man?
That was like the crooked looking man one was really, really good. That one was good. Mask. Yeah. Then when the chick gets hit by the fucking car in the very beginning is just a trip. And then Last Key, or I think is whatever that one was really trippy too. I really loved how a lot of their set designs were in that. There's just so much I will praise with it. But then again, that is 100% my bias coming out because I love James Wan. I love Lee Winnell. They can do no wrong for me. So I'm going to be fucking happy no matter what. I'm excited for it.
Like, this is honestly one of those series that I'm glad that they've made sequels to, just for the simple fact is like they keep introducing new things to be scared of. Like in the first two, you still had the Lipstick Demon in both of those because of. Wait, hold on. That'll give away spoilers if I say that. But the Lipstick Demon was in the first two, and it was like, okay, we're familiar with this guy, we're scared of this guy, but there's a new Oogie Boogie to be scared of, and you're like,
always changing. It's so good. I just love that series. But again, like I said, I'm being heavily biased on that.
But I gotta say, I feel bad for everyone that's involved in those stories because it's like,
oh yeah.
So, Insidious 5: Fear of the Dark. I'm excited for it because I didn't know it was the original team. Yeah, I want to see it.
I'm stoked, but again, for all the reasons I've said.
Yeah, it's biased from both of us. So yeah, upcoming one that we're excited for, Insidious 5: Fear of the Dark, along with the recommendation from both of us, watch the Insidious series.
Watch the series. It's worth a watch. Whether you like it or not, you will appreciate certain things. I would say. Yeah. I would say there's no matter what, whether you like horror or not, they're not like the scariest films, but they do have a lot of appreciation because they do take either A, chances, or B, just the way their characters are written and how some of the creatures or monsters or whatever is just told really well. I think so, at least.
That, and also they're one of the newer franchises, I'll say, quote unquote, that do more practical effects than CGI, because even their CGI is really good. Because they take their time with it, and I like that. I appreciate that. So I have to
taking your time to refine it. Oh my God, Disney, take notes.
Imagine having an original idea and it being successful. Disney, also take notes. I swear to God, I want to see the live action Lilo and Stitch, but at the same time, do we need a live action Lilo and Stitch?
No, but I'm gonna be hella biased because I love Stitch. I mean, I'm already trying to figure out where to put a Stitch tattoo on me because my body's pretty much taken up. I don't have all my ink done yet, but my body's planned out.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say will be a hit or miss with me is how the CGI on Stitch is done, because I know they're not gonna do practical effects with that.
All the aliens in general, all of them. I'm gonna be very, very critical on that personally.
Yeah, but speaking of Disney, moving on from Insidious 5: Fear of the Dark. July 7th. I'm excited for it. Ms. is excited for it. We're moving on to the remake of Haunted Mansion. Apparently, they're taking a darker turn with this one from the Eddie Murphy movie. It comes out July 28th.
PG-13, I think, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
It's supposed to do more of like how pirates handled their like darker themes in a sense. I don't know. Fair. I'm not I love Disney, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like the biggest Disney person. Haunted Mansion is just like a nostalgia thing for me. Not even like, oh, I'm excited for it or not excited for it. I'll probably go see it. I'm just like, towards it, I guess.
For me, this one's gonna have to be a pass. Not because it's like, a remake, but because of the nostalgia for me. I'm a little biased towards the original, because I loved Eddie Murphy as a child, but I kind of want to see it because this one's having Rosario Dawson be a single mom in it, but they're so this is a little snippet from it. Let's see, it comes out July 28th, 2023. The Haunted Mansion will see Rosario Dawson's harried single mom, assemble a team of famous faces to exorcise the abode. So, like, I don't really know how I feel that I love Rosario Dawson as an actress. She's really good, but like, I don't know if she's one of my celebrity crushes. I will say that, hands down. Very, very, very good actor, very attractive woman. But
it's up in the air though. I agree. I can see it from the bias point of view. I can see it from like my and their hate for things and so on and so forth. I don't know how to feel about it. So I'm not saying it's a pass. I probably will go see it to say I saw it, but till then, like, I'm not excited, nor am I like, oh man, this is gonna be shit.
Well, I didn't know that Rosario Dawson was in it, so I might see it. Honestly, I like anything she's in. She's one of the actresses. She's one of the actors/actresses that I'm like, oh, she's in that? I didn't know that. I'm gonna see that movie. Aside from her being one of my celebrity crushes, in all honesty, like, I like anything that she's in. She's good. She's a good actress.
That's fair. But I just love the whole, like, it's probably a pass. Oh, Rosario Dawson's in it. It's now probably going to be watched. Probably.
Oh my God. I read down a little bit. Further. Listen to this cast lineup. Okay. So I'm iffy. I don't know what to think about this just because of the cast lineup. I might change my answer. I really might. Among her helpers will be psychic played by comedy star Tiffany Haddish. Okay. Owen Wilson's priest, Danny DeVito's historian, and a tour guide played by Lakeith Stanfield. The cast is an impressive lineup, but the question of whether the Haunted Mansion can recapture the family-friendly humor/horror balance of 2021's hit Ghostbusters Afterlife remains to be seen. Honestly, I like Ghostbusters Afterlife, but
I haven't seen it. So I if it's comparing it to that, I might have to see it to see how this movie might play out. Then that's about the best way I can really describe it. But as of right now, I'm still, again, no matter what. I mean, I didn't know Danny DeVito was going to be in it, but I didn't either. Still going to be. I'll decide when it's out. We'll go from there.
Yeah, I might see it just to see it, just so that way I can say yay or nay on it based off of what I see. So that way I can actually give a proper recommendation. Because I was like, oh god, Disney's making another remake, but I don't know, with this cast lineup, something that was already live action,
it maybe might work. It might work.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give it a maybe. I'll change it from a no to a maybe. We'll see.
That's fair.
So, Haunted Mansion comes out July 28th. It comes as a maybe from both me and Miz, from what I can tell.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll go read that.
Yeah, we'll just have to watch it to give you a proper recommendation on that one. I didn't see this one on the list. I should have read these lists a little bit better. I apologize.
All good.
I scrolled down so far and I was like, all right, cool. That's horror movie. Got it. But we've got September 8th. So later on in the year, closer to Halloween, we've got The Nun 2. I got to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of The Nun because
that movie had set the tone. The way that movie opened up was, I loved how it opened up, and
it wasn't bad opener. Yeah,
it was just. Although I love Valak for all of the scenes Valak is in, especially the whole rising out of the water scene, just the sound effects. That's where my audiophile feel comes in. It's just the sound effects, the visual of that is just really, really good, but it is not a good movie. It did some really good scenes that I will praise, but that's it.
Yeah, I praise all of the Conjuring movies for their practical effects, but to me personally, anything after Annabelle is meh, because it's jump scares.
Conjuring 1, 2, and Annabelle Annabelle Comes Home. What was the second one?
I've watched all the Annabelles. I like the Annabelle series, but
first two Annabelles, first two Conjurings,
they're okay.
I fucking love.
Yeah.
I love especially Conjuring, but then again, biasism, James Wan, blah blah blah.
Fair.
Fair. The Nun. I haven't seen La Llorona. I have. The Nun was a huge miss for me. Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It was. I loved the witch feel behind it.
Fair.
And how they did the Wiccan on it, but I did not like the movie overall. And then Annabelle Comes Home is just so bad. There's no saving that film. It is so bad.
Yeah. For me, honestly, I liked the first two Conjurings. I liked the first two Annabelles. I didn't like anything after that so far. It's been kind of meh. Whereas The Nun 2 or for me, The Nun was kind of eh. It was I liked it for the practical effects, for the audiophile aspect. It was good. Had good music, had good sound effects to make you kind of get tense and situated in your seat to where you're like, oh no. But other than that, it was
no big payoff really. It just it hit some heads, but fucking completely missed sinking those nails in to make it really, really terrifying. Or
I have to agree. This is another one of those for me personally, because they changed directors, writers, and all kinds of stuff for a lot of it. I gotta say, this is one of those franchises that they can stop making sequels for, because
I would agree. I'm probably gonna go see it just because I'm probably gonna watch La Llorona here soon too. But I'm gonna be doing my retelling of all of the stories of that they've done right there. But I'm not going in expecting much. As I'm gonna go see it, but it's a very resound or resistant. I'm gonna go see it. I'm not really wanting to.
Let me see if I can remember this right. I didn't see him right when they came out, but I saw La Llorona right after I watched the first Annabelle. Big letdown on that one. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I didn't like I don't like what the movie did wrong, but like for what it did right, again, it was the practical effects. It was the audio file to where you're like, but it kind of feels like The Nun for me for La Llorona, because like I watched. I had just watched Annabelle like right before, when like the scene that got
spoiled.
me was the scene where like the lady was in, I think she was in the nursery or whatever. It was while she was still pregnant before she gave birth to the baby, and the person who was part of the Manson family attacked her as a ghost, and it scared the absolute shit out of me. I was like, okay, that's good. That got me.
Mm-hmm. There's so much for me with the first Annabelle. I know it's slow pacing, but like the way they use the demon, the way they use Annabelle itself is just, I think, is great. But Nun, it's I'm gonna go see it, but I'm not excited.
Yeah, like I'm gonna watch it just to say that I watched it, to give like a better recommendation to my friends and family members that like to watch horror movies. But other than that, I could miss it and wait for it to stream and be totally fine.
Yeah, that's I'm fine with that.
Yeah, like I'm not excited for this one. Honestly, I'll probably wait for it to be streaming to catch it, because that's what I did with the first one. Don't regret not spending the money.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll let you know when I see it. I'll be like, hey, wait.
Yeah. So Nun 2, we're gonna see when it comes out from me. Miz is gonna wait till he sees it to give a proper recommendation.
yeah. But it's probably gonna be the same as I said with the Nun. Skip it.
Yeah. It totally. Yeah, I agree. So it comes out September 8th, and we'll see. But oh god, I didn't see this one. October 13th, again, close to Halloween. You know, proper time for horror movies to come out. I love it when they come out around Halloween, because that's just a perfect time of year for me. It's when stuff starts to cool down. You start to get more into the creepy vibe of things, and
creepy vibe all the time, baby.
Oh yeah, if I could have my way, it'd be Halloween 24/7. But
oh yes, trust me.
You know, minus the handing out candy part, just.
I'll get into the story time after we're done with this list, but I've got a story of the reason why I'm not allowed to do Halloween, especially around friends and family.
Fair. So October 13th this year, we have The Exorcist to look forward to. It's let's see. As if this is what the synopsis says for this one. As if rebooting one beloved horror cinema franchise wasn't enough, Halloween 2018's David Gordon, so the same director, is hoping lightning will strike. Sorry, dyslexia is kicking my butt right now. Will strike twice with a sequel to 1973's iconic The Exorcist. One of the horror movies coming out soon. It will be tough for any sequel to recreate the impact that Will Friedkins, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. I apologize. Fredkins. Thank you. Terrifying original horror has upon its initial release. However, if anyone can make an Exorcist sequel reboot work, it's Green and the Halloween 2018 team. So he's bringing the same team that he had with Halloween 2018, which I gotta say, you know, you could have done without, but I did like it.
October, so I don't know how that team's going to handle it. However, I'm excited to see how they're going to do it, because there is a 50-year gap between the films. So practical effects, special effects. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. That's my biggest thing, is how are they going to continue this or do it as a sequel? How are they going to even try and retell that story in the first place? So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it, but that's it. Yeah.
And I also have to say I'm biased towards Blumhouse, because I liked them when they were I liked them when they were a quote unquote B class horror movie. You know,
well, they've done a lot of great work. I mean, Blumhouse, Lionsgate are some of my favorites. I mean, A24 is becoming one of my favorites, especially they've been putting out some really good movies. I don't blame the production company or whatever what's attached with whatever movie. It's usually the writers or the directors kind of aspect that I usually like to blame, but it's mostly the writers, because I'll use like the video game world as an example. Last of Us as a TV show is fantastic because it's literally like, hey, let's just take the game script and put it into a TV episodic thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Perfect. How hard is it to take the script from the game and do the movie? But I also know that, like, as a gaming person myself too, it's like, well, I don't want to just see the game played by someone else in a sense. I get both sides, but it's like that's a prime example of like you could just copy paste and still be fine.
Yeah,
but it's hard to like continue the sequel though with this new Exorcist because it's like there have been how many sequels? I think 4 or 5.
I think 5. Yeah,
and I'm curious to see how it's going to come out though. Like it's going to be interesting.
I gotta say, I'm biased when it comes towards Blumhouse because I know they're just the production team, but I like the fact that they do more practical effects than CGI in a lot of their stuff.
Fair,
because it's it's cheaper for the production, so it makes it to where more money can go to the writers, towards the editors, towards like making the film a better thing.
Sound design, yep.
So I gotta say, I kind of want to see how this one turns out. Whereas I love the originals for the childhood trauma.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing too. It's like that was a horror movie, much like in the 60s with Cannibal Holocaust, that fucking shocked audiences into the point where it's like, oh my God. And it goes back to our very first episode, or was it our first episode? Technically our second, I guess, last episode. Like what if the evil won? That's a prime example that we were talking about, is that like, that's one of those times where it showed the devil's stronger than God, and it's like, let's see how this turns out. I'm excited. I really, really am. But again, I don't know. I haven't seen Halloween 2018, so I'm going to not know that team going into it, which I think for me would be better. So I don't have any preconceived notions or expectations.
Yeah. I got to say, I did like Halloween 2018 because it wiped out the other sequels that were original to the original franchise. It basically made it to where Jamie Lee Curtis's character wasn't Michael Myers' sister. That's my only gripe and complaint, is that I grew, like, this is a bias of mine, is that I grew up with Jamie Lee Curtis's character in the Halloween franchise being Michael Myers' sister, or his baby sister. That was explained in 3 or 4.
It's been so long since I've seen any of the Halloween movies. Same with Fridays.
Yeah, I have to agree.
But the ones I know religiously are Nightmares. Like I used to religiously watch Nightmare on Elm Street. So like, I couldn't tell you.
Because I have to agree. But like that's my only complaint with 2018 is the fact that it rewrit what we knew as history and made it to where Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't Michael Myers' sister. What I do like is that they used everything that the original 2 did right. So everything from 3 after doesn't, quote unquote, isn't canon.
It's retcon pretty much. It's no longer there.
But the first 2 with Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers, just her happening to be a babysitter, is still continued. He's obsessed with her because he's his final girl. She's his final girl, excuse me. And it kind of tied into Halloween Kills, or the last one that came out last year. What they did right with that one, practical effects, application of everything.
A lot of mixed things about it. Still haven't seen it yet. I do need to see them, but I heard a lot of mixed things. For me, we'll find that out whenever I watch them.
Yeah, for me, honestly, what they did right was, what I look for in a lot of scary movies, the effects, the sound, like just the story. Like they did that right. I don't like that they retconned what I knew to be factual about Halloween, whereas you are with Friday the 3rd, or excuse me, with Nightmare on Elm. Yeah, with Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm kind of the same way towards Halloween, but like. What they did right. I'll give them that. But for me, it's one of those movies where I have my opinion about it, and I'm not going to let my opinion overrule somebody else's opinion. If they love it, I'm not going to say bad choice in movie, but hey,
like I joke around with my friends, you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Fair. That's fair.
That's what I joke around with some of my friends.
So I mean, with him directing it and Blumhouse behind it, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll say I'll watch it.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah,
that one I'm excited for the sole fact of like I want to see The Exorcist being shot or kind of like remade by today's standards with everything we have here now. I would be very, very intrigued to see that. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, going into it knowing not much, will be happy, but like that's how I'm going into it.
Me going into it knowing that Blumhouse is behind it, I want to see how they do. I want to see what comes of it. So I'll say I'm excited for it too, because I want to see. I do like it when stuff is reimagined, retold for modern day if it's done right.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of remakes or retellings, but like Invisible Man, Hollow Man were some examples that I thought of great bringing into a modern setting. There's a lot of ways to do it, but unfortunately, most of them don't really age well and or do well. But yeah, that's the risks, and I understand that. And like, I don't again blame anybody associated with the project. It's just more of like how it was done. Unfortunately, is the problem because. You could shoot the perfect movie, but once it gets to that cutting floor, that's where it gets butchered. That's where it gets butchered at sometimes.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, take that scene out entirely. We can take that out and just put it in the special director's cut.
Or just not have it at all.
Yeah,
it's like there's just times where it's like I understand why they need to do that, but it's like there are just times where it's like, why did they take this out? Or like a 3-second clip, like or a 3-second or a 30-second little small section that kind of adds a lot to the story. When I was like, people aren't going to notice this cut. It's like, fuck, dude. And
in spite of what the writer / director, whoever he was on the original Jeepers Creepers did, I do love that franchise because I don't like the artist for what he did. I like the art, and I can separate the two. Right?
It's the same with Roman Polanski, Rosemary's Baby and shit. Like, it's the same concept. But
there's some scenes that I would like to have seen in Jeepers Creepers because of there was one scene in particular where he has the lady on the porch and he's holding her up by her head and he talks. He actually talks. I did like that.
It's different, but I get it. Yeah, it's just really nerve wracking because it's like that. Those are some big shoes to fill. Like, because again, like we were saying, like that had such a big impact, like culturally and in movies and stuff like that. So it's like, how do you kind of get that in today's standard? How do you make that same impact? Or what could you try and do to make that impact? That's where I'm really curious to see. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see what risks they take. Because I feel like if they're taking on that kind of project, you're pushing some bounds. You're going to push something.
That's fair.
At least I'd hope.
Yeah. So October 13th, The Exorcist. I'm excited for it. But biasism coming from me.
And mine's coming from a different area, but I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know how to describe my area.
Yeah. Yours is like, I want to see it just to see what they bring to the table for this new era.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That's the best way to describe it.
Also, recommendation from both of us: watch the original Exorcist. Pretty good.
It may be bad by today's standards, but just remember, back in the 70s, that was some scary ass shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming up next on December 27th is something that I'm going to straight up say that I'm not excited for. Saw 10.
That's right there. And they brought Tobin Bell back. I remember reading on that cast, Tobin Bell is back. Yeah. Bring in some other characters. And so it's like, this is one of the things I'm like, just let the series die.
Yeah.
Saw 3D was not good to me, in my opinion. Fucking, what was it? Jigsaw was not good. I would, if you want to continue that series, do exactly what they did with Spiral. That is a fantastic way to continue that series. It's from fair. The book of Saw. Like I loved Spiral for what it was. I enjoyed the fuck out of that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Saw? Yeah, no, Saw needs to die.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to agree. After the third one, I was just kind of like, oh.
Well, 1, 3, and 4 are my favorite. 1, 3, and 4 are my favorite. That is such a good, nice little tight knit story, and you could just call it done with that, or you could do whatever. But they could have been done with 4. I would have been fucking happy with that.
Yeah, because 4 was the one where they had Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, where he was glued to the. Was he glued? he was secured to that car seat somehow to where it peeled his skin off.
Like tarred or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I think was that stuff 4? I thought that was 5.
I think that was 4.
Let me double check.
Because yeah,
it's been so long since I've seen the series. Like I said, up to 4, I know mostly by heart. I think it was 3. You were right. I mean 4.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
It's just been fucking forever since I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's been years for me. I don't even remember the last time I watched.
I think that might be 6.
Was it?
It might have been 6 because 4 is the cop. Chick gets her hair stuck in the device and then rips her scalp off. The dude that he has poke his eyes out. I can't remember all the other small spots, but yeah, no, I think it's 5. I want to say it's 5. That one is.
I didn't know that. Okay. But yeah, the cast is Tobin Bell, who will be playing John Kramer. Shawnee Smith's Amanda. It is likely considered that Kramer died in Saw 3, that he'll appear in flashbacks or memories, but it's also been poised, but no, it's posed that it could be a prequel. Saw 10 will release just in time for Halloween and is sure to contain plenty of inescapable jigsaw traps. Like, again, I'm sorry, that's not enough to carry me because I don't care how ingenious the traps are, anything like that. Like, if the story is good, I will praise the story. But honestly, we've gone on, because the first one came out in 2003. We're going on 20 years of one series. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm gonna pass on this one. October 27th. I'm gonna wait.
It was Saw 3D. That's what it was. I knew it was not that early. It was Saw 3D. That's the one.
Okay.
That Chester was in.
Okay. I just liked him for that scene.
That's fair. That's fair. No, the Saw series. I loved how they started off. I loved how it was very grounded and yeah, you must pay for your sins in a sense mentality, and it slowly just became, I'm going to take over this original idea, run with it, and just make as many torture devices. Not like John's, if you watch the original 3, I would say, you could see John's mind of this room is specific punishment for this specific person or people or whatever. And then after that, it became the whole how gory or how convoluted can we make this,
Yeah. Because I'm sorry, they lost me after 4. I want to say 4.
They lost. I still watch the whole series. I own the whole series because I hate having a movie of a series and not having it unless it's Jeepers Creepers or something like that. But for the most part, I have most of the series and stuff. But I'm done with it. After 4, I was like, okay, let's wrap it up, please. And then it just kept coming out.
And it's cool that it's cool that it's coming out for Halloween, around Halloween, but I'm not gonna go see it. It's one of those ones where
I'm gonna go see it. I'm just not excited about it. I'm gonna go see it.
I'm not excited about it.
I get more blood and gore, which I'm excited for, but it's the traps is more what I'm worried about because this story is probably not going to be great. The last 2 haven't been. Spiral I enjoyed, even with the story and everything, but it's definitely the last 2 to 3 Saw movies for sure. I was just wrap it up. I'm done.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Coming up next, this one's TBA, so it doesn't have a confirmed date yet, but they're rebooting The Strangers from 2008. I didn't like the first one.
I did hear about that. I didn't like the first one either. I get a lot of shit from my wife for that. The first one, I get the suspense, the stalking, feeling like prey and all that. I get how that's terrifying, but
it was based on a true story.
Yeah. Home invasion movies like that, or invasion, we're stuck in a room kind of thing, someone breaking in, I'm not the biggest fan of. It's a lot of religious horror I'm not the biggest fan of, but I do love the religious horror for other reasons.
That's fair.
But I will probably see it just to see how they do an updated version, I guess. But yeah, I'm just towards it. We'll see it. We'll see how it is.
I get that one. I get that, but for this one, I'm probably gonna sit it out. It's you know, it's I watched the first one. I got halfway through it, and I was like, okay, this doesn't have my attention. I walked out of the theater and got a refund. I was like, because
you should be like, it's too scary. Look at how scared I am. Give me my money back. I'm traumatized.
But yeah, like for those that loved it, I'm not gonna say, you know, I'm not gonna shit on your opinion of the movie. And again,
no, if you loved it, you loved it. It's just not for me. It's not for us.
It was just one of those ones that I was like,
true stories are all cool and whatnot, but like, yeah, whatever. It's not for me.
Yeah. And again, for anyone out there that's gotten this far, let us know in the comments what you're excited for that we're talking about so far. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and give us your opinions, honestly, because I'm all about critiques. I'm all about hearing other people's opinions on movies, anything. It's just one of those things where I'm kind of, I like to hear. But again, TBA hasn't been given a definitive date yet. This is a reboot. It's not a sequel of the first one that came out 2008. I don't know if they made a sequel or not. I didn't watch anything after the first one.
Don't know.
It's got some people from Riverdale, Hocus Pocus 2, Switched at Birth.
I've seen none of those shows. Sorry, I've seen some episodes of Switched at Birth because of my wife.
Honestly,
I haven't.
Honestly, I've watched the first 2 episodes of Riverdale. I like it because they took the Archie series that I grew up reading on the little Walmart pamphlet books, and they made it into a horror show, and it's actually pretty good. I gotta say, I do like it.
That's what I've heard. It doesn't grab my attention enough. Yeah. Not unless it's, Archie and the gang going after Predator.
Jeepers, guys! I think he's close. Click, 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 click.
Jeepers, guys! I think I'm dead.
Why are those 3 dots on your head, Jughead? Huh? Oh.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like, honestly, I don't know. I would give that a shot, but
I gotta say I didn't like Hocus Pocus 2 just because
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's a fun ride. I heard it kept true to its roots. It's just I'm hesitant to watch it just because, like, even the first Hocus Pocus is not one of my favorite movies.
I didn't like aspects of Hocus Pocus 2, whereas, like, like it was nice to see, like, everything kind of get modernized and see the witches go through the same growing pains again that they did in the first one, where they're like, oh, we don't have brooms, we're gonna fly away on Hoovers. And this one, like, one of them gets like a Swiffer, one of them gets like a friggin' one of the smart vacuums, and then the other one gets a Roomba. Yeah, I was like, okay, I like that aspect. Like the comedy from the first one was still there, I'll say that, but it's one of those movies I don't think needed a sequel per se. It was kind of, I will say I enjoyed it because my daughter liked it, but that's fair. Our Hocus Pocus is goated. It's gilded as best of its time. That's in its aspect. But nope, I'm not subscribing to Screen Rant. No, thank you. Last one on Screen Rant's list is Dark Harvest, TBA. I don't know what this one's about, so I'll read the synopsis real quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, go ahead. Does it have any information on it? That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, because I haven't heard anything on this one, so this one kind of caught me off guard. After several scrapped release dates, it is possible that 2022 horror movie Dark Harvest is one of the horror movies coming out soon, ? So this one is not confirmed to come out in 2023. It's
still probably on the cutting board, trying to it's probably doing what's happening with the Spawn reboot that they want to do, which is they don't either have a director or a proper writer or blah 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 blah. There's small things that are postponing it.
So it says that let me see, I'll skip the production hell that it's in. It says Dark Harvest is based on Norman Partridge's eponymous novel. Eponymous? I don't know how I'm saying it.
Does it start with an O?
It's EPONYMOUS. Eponymous novel, which zeroes in on a fictional town where every fall a specter named Sawtooth Jack goes up against violent gangs of boys hoping to take down the supernatural creature once and for all. The horror movie has a stellar cast with the likes of Elizabeth Reeser, Jeremy Davies, Luke Kirby, and Ezra Buzzington. I have no idea who any of these people are. So Apparently, it's a slasher flick or a creature slasher flick, kind of like Pumpkinhead. From what I
just looked up
understand,
a little bit of it. So based off the books, it reminds me of almost like the Sleepy Hollows and or those dark fairy tales like that. If they can get it rolling, it also reminds me of like the scary stories to tell in the dark. Is what it really reminds me of. Which I actually really like that series.
I enjoyed that
movie. The movie was really good for what it was. I enjoyed how it was.
I liked it, honestly.
Oh yeah, same. I don't know much about this series, but if it's anything like what I had just mentioned, I am definitely excited for it. I hope it gets made soon so I can actually watch it. I'm always a fan of like kid friendly horror in a sense, but it's still like, again, Coraline to this day is still one of my absolute favorite books and favorite movies because of that reason, because it was not supposed to be a kid's book.
I honestly
so good.
I honestly consider like the kids horror kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, because I get to share that with my daughter, and I get to her introduced to spooky things, not scary things, but spooky things. And I'm like, all right, she kind of is like, hey, dad likes this, so I like it too currently. And that's her phase of life. And I'm like, you know what? I'm loving it. I get to do stuff that she likes to do. I get to do stuff that I like to do, and we get to enjoy each other's company. But I might actually pick up this book to read it. Norman Partridge.
Same.
I might have to check it out to see if to get a feel for this movie. If it gets made this year, I gotta say I'm excited for it.
If it sounds like if it's already been in like question mark since 2022, they probably still haven't even started shooting yet. So it's probably not even 100% greenlit. That or it's been greenlit. Now they're just really trying to fill the holes.
Yeah. That's what I think is going on with this one. So I mean, honestly, I know none of the cast, and if they're in something that I might have watched, I'll find out. But it says that it's a stellar cast. I know none of these people.
Stellar cast. Yes, I know exactly who zero of these people are. So very stellar.
It's an introduction for me. But honestly, I gotta say, if it gets made this year, I'm excited for it. It sounds interesting.
Sounds something I would definitely watch at least.
Yeah. It's one of those things that's kind of piqued my interest, because I've heard zero things about it. I didn't even know it was in production hell since 2022. So I mean,
like, excuse me, like it would definitely be something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, definitely one of those ones. And then we're moving on to the next list. I'm only picking certain ones off of this one because it's the bunch of them actually. Almost. Yeah. Like they've got Insidious, the Dark Realm, Fear of the Dark, Saw X, friggin' The Exorcist, Nun 2. We already talked about those ones. There's this one called Bed Rest. Let's see what that one's about. A pregnant woman on bed rest begins to wonder if her house is haunted or it's all in her head. It's just the release date is July 14th, 2023. This one is going to be exclusive to Tubi. Tubi, I think is how it is. Tubi. Yeah. So this one's supposed to be coming out in July 14th. I don't have Tubi, but if I did, honestly, I like psychological thrillers. I don't like if they're done wrong, to where it's like got a plot twist at the end where like the entire imagination was actually real. And I don't like diluted ones. I
get that. For me, like a prime example for me of like one of my favorite psychological horror ones is Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon. That's one of my personal
that's a good
favorites. One. I just think that one's done very, very well. This one, I think will be more like horrifying for the gender targeted in a sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd be down to see it. It'd be interesting. Like, I mean, how often do you really see a pregnant woman like as a central focus point, other than like for either a few moments or like, hey, I'm going to cut the baby out of you as a sacrifice kind of thing.
Yeah. They did that in the Human Centipede 2. That was just, it was, I do not
any of those.
I heavily do not recommend the second one. First one, watch at your own discretion. That's all I'm going to say. The second one,
I know the premise behind it. That's not the bothersome part to me. What bothers me more than anything is that everyone's just like, this is so gross and so on and so forth. And it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, back in the day when we had unfiltered internet, I saw way worse than you can show me. So,
oh, you mean like one guy, one jar? Like, oh,
I mean, amongst other things, Pain Olympics and so on and so forth. You know, there's a lot.
Don't Google these kids.
Yeah, didn't know. If you're under 18 or 21, yeah, and you don't know this shit, keep it that way.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Anywho, yeah, it's just like I don't know. I feel like that kind of psychological horror though would be very, very good if done right, but I feel like it's going to be again more gendered because of obvious pregnant lady. Because it's like that whole when you're like for some women and people who have uteruses and stuff like that, it's just like that fear of like, you know, even just periods because it's a heavy flow or X, Y, and Z. Like, there's so many things that go into it that for some people it's like what's whatever to me. Like, I know I have friends that are like petrified of childbirth and will refuse to have kids. And it's like, I don't blame you.
I mean, hey, I'd be scared too if a baby came out of me.
Yeah, I've seen real. I mean,
I've seen what that entails.
Yeah, exactly. It's natural, sure, but doesn't mean it don't hurt and it's not terrifying.
Fair. That's fair.
So like realistically, like I hate saying it that way, but like I would like to see it to see how it's done from my point of view, but I feel like it's again more catered towards like a gendered area. Not saying good, bad, or indifferent, but I just feel it that way is all.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it'll be interesting to watch, but like I don't know if I'll be able to like relate.
Be the target demographic in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah, I remember when I was pregnant and X, Y, and Z happened. I thought I was tripping, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, because your hormones are so imbalanced. You're constantly fighting with your own body for simple shit. There's a lot of things.
Shout out to women for going through that. You know,
for fucking real. Don't get me wrong. Not taking advantage of it or anything like that, but it's like, I understand because I understand, like, you know, everyone wants a family at some point or another. Not everyone, I shouldn't say that, but
yeah,
you want a family, whatever. And it's like the first one's super terrifying. Then you hear them like, yeah, no, the second, third one was like, whatever. Cool, fine. Still doesn't mean it's an enjoyable experience and be like, you know what? This sounds, I want to push, you know, fucking 6 to 8 pounds right out of me.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm down.
That's a shape and roughly the size of a watermelon. Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, the only time I really would even hear anything like that, it's like, you know, hey, I'd look at these fucking new toys I got for my butthole and stuff like that. If you're really into that, like doing that kind of training and stuff like that, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. You know, take that whole fist or double fist up there. Do you? I ain't shitting on you. Trust me. But I don't think anyone's going to be like, I want to shove that in there and then go,
yeah. Like, no, thank you. So, yeah,
I'm cool.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to watch for me. Honestly, bed rest July.
Curious.
Yeah, July 14th, 2023
on Tubi. I gotta mark that down
on Tubi. I think I have a Tubi subscription now that I think about it. I'm not entirely sure.
I do.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. Okay. Next one up is called Clock. It comes out at the end of April 28th, 2023. This one, it comes out on Hulu. On the eve of her 39th birthday, a woman desperately attempts to fix her broken biological clock. This is another targeted demographic one. It's a thriller / horror, so I don't know.
I mean, if it's anything like, so hearing how it can be like a slasher or stuff like that, it's one of the things that, like, when I went into, did you ever see Malignant?
Yeah.
Going in seeing one thing, going like, what the fuck is this, and then it being completely different, which I absolutely love that fucking ride, by the way.
Yeah.
It sounds like that can be this correlated in this sense, Larry, right here, where it's sounding one way but could be turning out different. I don't know. To me, if she's trying to quote unquote fix her biological clock, the reigns and rings in my head fucking species in a different sense, in a way. You know, I must produce offspring in a sense. Is what it sounds like, but again, that's just at first glance. I had known nothing about it, and I'm not trying to assume how this is going to be.
That's fair. I'm kind of the same way about it. It's another one of those ones that I think will be interesting to watch, and the simple fact that it's streaming on an app, you know, it's accessible.
Yeah.
So I'll say it'll be interesting to watch. Not really much I'm gonna say on that.
I'd give it a little poke and see how that would be. I'm definitely down to see that.
Yeah, I'm fair. Same. So April 28th, 2023 on Hulu, if you have access to it. Clock. No funny spelling. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm definitely down to check that out.
And then next up, another one on April 28th. This one, I don't know if this one's going to be streaming in theaters or whatever, but it's called The Black Demon.
Black Demon.
This one is don't know what it's streaming on. Movie details doesn't say, but it's Josh Lucas, Ford v Ferrari, Yellowstone, stars in this edge of your seat action thriller from director of Rambo: Last Blood. Oil man Paul Sturgis Lucas. Idyllic family vacation turns into a nightmare where they encounter a ferocious megalodon shark that will stop at nothing to protect its territory. Stranded under constant attack, Paul and his family must somehow find a way to get his family back to shore alive before it strikes again in this epic battle between humans and nature. Honestly,
it sounds like a bigger cast of The Shallows.
To me, it sounds like a different director got a hold of the idea for Megalodon, or the Meg. Excuse me.
Oh, I love that movie.
I liked it. So I mean,
I was like head over heels when I heard about that movie. I never read the books, but I was like head over heels when I heard it. I was just like, I was like, yeah, because there's books. Me and my wife still disagree with the second title. It's called like The Trenches or something like that. We thought the second sequel title should have been called The Meg 2, More Megs.
The Meganing.
Just more Megs, more Meg in general, like would have been perfect. Yeah. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. I haven't read the books. I do need to read the books. But did you ever see The Shallows? The Shallows is like a very well done horror thriller with man versus nature in a sense.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
Oh, I love that movie because it's like, I do hate the trope of like this person magically knows how to cure themselves or help themselves out when they're like stranded on this kind of thing. It's, one of those small things to me that's like a little small complaint, but it's done very, very well.
Fair.
Heavily CG'd, which is not the best thing. You can kind of tell certain spots and whatnot, but like I do love the concept of that whole film because it's like, I don't remember how far the shore is, but it's only like 500 meters or 100 meters or something weird. It's like not too much distance between her and the shore, but she's being pretty much tracked by this shark. And the way they do it is really, really good. Very, very smart and so on and so forth, but it's just super good. That's what this sounds like to me. It sounds like a bigger cast or more people involved. Shallows is what it sounds like.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. I'll check it out just because I like the Meg. I kind of like anything to do with like man versus nature because nothing's more scary than, to me personally, than the ocean.
Real life and nature.
Yeah.
See, for me, I agree to disagree. I know everyone's terrified of the ocean stuff. Blah 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 blah. For me, the ones that are like more terrifying is like when it's just like your average fucking dog and your fucking mountain lions that are around most places, boar. Like there's so much that's just like around us naturally. I mean, hell, like Arachnophobia is a prime example too. I love that movie, but like spiders, like you never know where you're gonna be like, oh, there's a fucking black widow in that corner right there.
Yeah.
And then you like wait for a second, like it's gone. I'm dead.
Yeah, funny story. When I was streaming one night, I looked up because I seen a spot on my ceiling. And I was like, how did that get there? And then I seen it move and I was like, oh, that's a spider. And I was like, I'm not scared of spiders per se, but
just playing the game.
And like, I was like, because it was like way over in the corner, like out from above me. So I was like, okay, cool. And I went back to playing the game for a little bit, and then I looked up again, and it was gone. I was just like,
"Where'd they go?"
And it was big enough for me to notice it it was like about that big.
I'm the kind of person. This is where like kind of my backwoods self comes out and whatnot. But it's like I don't mind spiders. I used to me and my friend used to go out into the fucking fields and catch tarantulas and scorpions and frogs and all kinds of shit and throw them in hot Cheeto bags, and then we take them home and put them in our cases. but we're also the kind of people that was like one of those when we're like really bored is like we used to eat them too. They're really good in protein and stuff. So like,
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. Should the spider fear me or do I fear the spider?
Like I've never been arachnophobic, but that's a fair point. But like I'm okay with spiders as long as they don't get on me, and even if they do get on me, I'm like.
For me, it's like I'm not terrified of them, but the thing that does terrify me about spiders again is when you least expect them. So it's like I'm gonna take a drink right here, and then there's a spider in there, or like crawling on it. Then it's like one of those fucking like that. I can understand being like absolutely 100% terrified, no matter how comfortable you are with spiders. But yeah, I have no problems. But again, I'm not at the same time not gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna let that guy live there. It's gonna be like one of those, hey, we're either killing him or we're gonna try and scoop him out. But if he doesn't go willingly, he dead.
Yeah, I remember one time we had a fun little story time. We had a tarantula that used to live in our hooch, and when we were out in the field and stuff, he was a big guy, or she was a big gal, I should say. And we didn't mess with her. She didn't mess with us. She would just take care of the mice and stuff like that. But one time she crawled into my bed, and when I whipped back the covers, I was like, she was staring at me, I was staring at her. We made eye to eye contact. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'm going to scoop you. So I went and grabbed a piece of cardboard, got it under her. And right when I got it under her, she crawled up my arm, and I said, huh! And you just heard it just against the wall. And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry.
Reaction. It's the reaction.
But yeah. So yeah, no, I'm scared of the ocean because it's so deep, and it freaks me out when I can't see the bottom.
I was going to say the biggest thing for most people is that since the water is murky, even like what is considered clear water for the ocean, it's still like murky for most average people and whatnot. It's, you never know what's around you. And that's the more terrifying thing. And that's the thing about certain horror movies that I love is your imagination makes things way more terrifying than what's actually happening, like how many times do you see people diving and so on and so forth and nothing ever happens, but in your head you're like, fucking Cthulhu's gonna come here, or fucking Kraken, fucking Megalodon, and fucking the
giant anaconda.
You never know, but your head is making it so much worse than what's actually happening. But I also know people, I'm not chancing it. Why would I go in there? I love the ocean personally, but I do not fault anybody for feeling that way, because I, in some senses and in some parts, I do the same. Because like even when I'm out, I hate deep sea fishing, but I love deep sea fishing. And when I do go to with some of my friends out on the beach and go even just fishing off of the coast or whatever, or off of the pier, it's just like you get something and it's not an animal or whatever, and you get like a shoe or something. It's like, what am I pulling up? It's always that fear of like, oh, what if I caught something I'm not supposed to? It's just, there's a lot of things that go with it, but I do understand that fear.
Yeah, I've only ever been deep sea fishing once, and I caught more than everybody else on the boat, but I didn't catch the biggest fish. My brother-in-law and my mother-in-law caught a shark. I caught a pufferfish, not just once, not just twice, but 3 times. And guess what? It was the same pufferfish. It fucker kept coming back. Yeah,
you put some tasty bait on there. Then that's all I'm saying.
We just used shrimp, the big shrimp. But yeah,
well, hey, they were happy. Pufferfish wanted it.
Yeah, I was like, when I pulled it up the first time, I was like, oh hey, floop. Second time he came back, I was like, God, you're stingy little bastard. And the reason I knew it was him was because he had different puncture marks from my hook in his mouth, and we were the only ones fishing.
I mean, like, it's very rare you would find a same pufferfish for one, especially after you caught and released it once. But yeah, no, that's fair. Because you imagine catching 3 different pufferfish that have been caught and released? That'd be insane.
Yeah, and I was just like, why do you, like, the third time I was like, I held him in my hand, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever felt in my life, but he inflated in my hand. And I didn't know this, but apparently their barbs are toxic. Oh, yeah. Did not know that. Had it in my hand.
And neurotoxin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like a neurotoxin.
And there's no cure. I had it in my hand, and it's just inflated. And I'm like, oh, that is so cool. And he just floated out there in this. And then like I looked and turned back, and he was just gone. I was like, all right. But yeah. We're good. So yeah, Black Demon. I kind of like the Man versus Nature, but if it's the ripoff of the Meg, I'm going to be very disappointed. So I'm going to see it just to see it.
I will probably do the same. I will probably see it to say I saw it, but if it's anything like I'm thinking is just like the Shadows with a bigger cast, I might not be excited because I do prefer the Shadows, like because it's such a small set in a sense, and it's just done very, very well.
Fair.
More does not mean better unless you somehow your name is James Cameron and make 2 amazing sequels.
Yeah, that's fair. I can agree with that. I'll watch it just because I'm curious about it because I am terrified of the ocean. So this is a real life fear to me because like, hey, what if Megs were still existent? Like how hard would our life be?
Just in general, sharks fucking hunting you, man. Once you hit their territory, that's like sperm whales, hippos, alligators, crocodiles. Like there's so many things that are so territorial that like once you get into there, they don't fuck around, and they will literally be like, I would rather die than let you be in my territory, and that's more terrifying.
they're like us back. They're like us back in 2003. What are you doing in my space?
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly, dude. Like, it's like fucking boar hunting too. And once you come across a den or a herd, oh my God.
I accidentally fell into a den.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Luckily, Mama Pig was elsewhere. Luckily, that's rough. Luckily, Mama Pig was elsewhere, but I found all the piglets and I was just like, I'm leaving you guys alone because I know Mom is still in earshot. I'm going to go. You guys have a good night. But yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Boar, you find me in a tree with a fucking rifle and I'll go boar. Yeah, I'll go for boar. But other than that, nah, you're on your own. I fucking hate hunting boar.
So I'm going to skip. They're redoing War of the Worlds. I'm going to skip that one because I'm not a War of the Worlds fan.
I love the original. Absolutely love the original. The original story, the original movie.
Yes.
I appreciate the Tom Cruise kind of remade one. I just could not stand Dakota Fanning screaming throughout the whole fucking movie. That was what killed it for me. But other than that, you took her out of it, I think the movie would have been fine. I am actually kind of excited to see how they would do this one. I enjoyed what I got from the modern one with Tom Cruise. I really want to see how they do this one. I love Orson Welles doing that whole spew over radio and literally scaring the entire nation is one of my favorite things ever. So that's why I love it so much.
And then on top of that, it's coming out April 21st this year. I don't know if they're rebooting based off of the original story. I don't know if they're doing an original retelling. I don't know anything about it. It doesn't have a whole lot of information on it. Yeah. Okay. It just says 3 young astronomers fight to survive a deadly Martian invasion. But the director is also starring in it. So
interesting. That's a very interesting take. Okay, well, we'll see how it is.
Junaid Sayed? I don't know if I'm saying that right, and I apologize if I butchered that.
For the production company?
No, that's the name of the writer, director. It's written in. Yeah, it's right. It got written by him or them, and starring them along with being directed by them. I don't know anything about this person, so I'll see what it brings. I might not go to the movie theater to see it because, again, outside of the original, I'm not, so I might wait for this one to be streaming. Comes out April 21st. So there's that.
I'm excited. Like I said, I will definitely see another War of the Worlds kind of movie. I enjoy them.
Yeah. We've only got a few more to talk about. I'll talk about the one that I'm actually kind of excited for. It comes out next week, April 14th. It's called The Pope's Exorcist.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'll say I'm excited for it too, because the audience score currently sitting on that one is an 84. That's from the audience. So
I still don't give a shit about the audience opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
No offense to you guys listening. It's not saying that your opinion sucks. It's just, I like to form my own. This is what we're here for. We're all subjective. Everything is situational, blah, 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 blah. But I'm excited for it for biases and reasons. I love Russell Crowe. I absolutely love Russell Crowe. Also, I'm a very, like I said, very big on religious horror. Just a lot of them are
certain ones
executed.
Yeah.
But I want to see this one. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to really see how it goes. But I'm also, again, I want to see how visceral and viral they're going to get with it. If they're going to be that graphic, I will be excited. If they aren't, let's go from there.
So to add a little bit more excitement to your bucket of Russell Crowe-ness, is this is inspired by actual files of Father Gabriel Amorth, M-A-M, yeah, chief exorcist of the Vatican, Russell Crowe. The Pope's exorcist follows Amorth, as he investigates a young boy's terrifying possession and ends up overcoming a centuries-old conspiracy that the Vatican has desperately tried to keep hidden. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of Russell Crowe. I'm excited for this one. I didn't know it was coming out in April. I thought it was coming out in like June or July for some reason. But I want to see it.
I'm excited for it, honestly. Like, the reason why I'm excited for it is, again, heavily biased towards Russell Crowe. But I want to see what kind of religious aspect or how graphic they're going to get with like the religion aspect behind it as well. Because most of the time when you add that, they kind of really dumb it down, or not dumb it down, but words don't really go all out.
Yeah. Or they overdo it and then they make it CGI and then it just looks bad.
Yeah, that too.
In some cases, not all cases. Some, I will say some.
No, that's fair.
So yeah, that comes out April 14th. I'm gonna see it. I'm excited for it. I love Russell Crowe. As far as I know, he's never really done a bad movie.
Oh, he's done plenty of bad movies, in my opinion. I mean, fucking, there's several I can name, but my favorite film with him in it is really hard to pick, but like, I absolutely love him. Master Commander, Gladiator, American Gangster. There's just so many he's done. Gladiator's like probably number one.
Those are honestly the only movies I've seen of his, so that's why I'm saying I don't think he's really done a bad movie, because I haven't seen all of his filmography. But the fact that he's going from an action star to doing a horror movie, I'm interested to see how he does.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah, I like most of the stuff he's done, not everything. I don't care for Les Mis at all overall in general. But there's still a lot of films I haven't seen of his that I would like to. But that, like, the three films, my top two is still always going to probably be like a tie between Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind, because like it shows really his like.
I forgot he was in that. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Fucking love A Beautiful Mind. He's so good in that.
That was a good movie too. Yeah,
fantastic movie.
This one, so yeah, I'm excited for The Pope's Exorcist. Next week. One, yep, it comes out next week. I thought it came out later. So this one is called Leave. Apparently it already came out. It came out March 17th. A young woman tries to find her origins after having been abandoned as an infant at a cemetery wrapped in a cloth with a satanic symbol. But as she gets closer to answers, a malevolent spirit is telling her to leave. Honestly,
I'll look for it and try and watch it, but
it's on AMC Plus for us in America, but it's I don't know. It sounds like something they've done before with like The Omen.
It definitely, yeah, I can see that. Or you can even equate that to like Amityville Horror in a sense.
Fair.
I don't know. The concept isn't selling me, but it definitely has got enough where it's like, why is she in like the satanic garb? Let me find out more of that. That's what kind of piques my interest more than anything. So
yeah,
my curiosity is piqued enough for me to want to watch it, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll check it out, but like, I'm not gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go watch this immediately.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I'm like, here in like 2 minutes, and I'm gonna go watch this film.
Yeah, this is one that I'm just kind of like, we'll see. We only got a couple more, and then we'll call it quits.
Oh, no worries.
We already talked about that one. I don't know about that one. This one is called. Hold on, half the name's cut off. The Forest Hills. It just said Forest H. I was just like, what are we going for?
Forest Hills.
Oh, this one apparently is already out too. It came out March 11th. A man is tormented by nightmarish visions after enduring a head trauma while camping in the Catskill Woods. This sounds like that Jessica Alba movie where she was blind and she got the eye transplant and saw ghosts.
What was that? Was that no? That's the eye, right?
Yeah, the eye.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's Gothica, but then that's with Halle Berry. I forgot about that one. Gothica, I liked Gothica. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Sounds like a pass to me for sure.
If it's something that I see on and I'm bored, I might catch it because like I don't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it.
Yeah, it doesn't like it's like, oh, this guy got a head trauma. Okay, that's relatable. I've had several. You know, but then it's like he's seeing nightmarish visions. It's like, okay, so like,
are we doing like the Final Destination in a weird way?
Yeah, like I don't. It came out March 11th. I like that's not something I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go watch it. You know, another one of those ones where it's kind of like,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Next is this one called Unseen. Let's see. Oh, this one already came out. I'm sorry. It came out March 7th. Jeez, a lot of these already came out. So I think I'm getting into what's already came out territory.
All right.
2 women form an unlikely connection when a depressed gas station clerk, Sam, receives a call from Emily, and a nearly blind woman who is running from her murderous ex in the woods. Emily must survive the ordeal with Sam being her eyes from afar using a video call. Okay.
Seems highly impractical, but I mean, there was a I don't remember where or how long ago it was, but there was a story I remember reading where this kid helped his blind friend beat, I think it was a Ocarina of Time or a Nintendo 64 game. It was something like that, but he helped him, but it took, I think, a year or something like that to do it. So yeah, to do this within like, even 8 hours, remember she's nearly blind, so not fully blind. So she should have some vision, but it still seems a little stretching on that part. That's just me though.
Honestly, this is another one that's going to be a pass from me because it's like, because like why would you like? It seems so impractical. It seems like your common sense just went out the window. Like, hey, let me call my best friend to help me out of this situation where I'm about to get murdered.
Via video cameras that are notorious for being absolute shit.
And she's in the middle of the woods. Like what are the chances that she's going to have
a good connection and all of there's so many variables to it. I mean, I get it. It's plot armor and or helps drives the story, but like that seems so fucking so out of left field, like out of nowhere.
Yeah, we're getting into already out territory. But yeah, like that one's just
we're scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point, it seems like.
Yeah. We I think we hit all the ones that we want to see, that we don't want to see, the ones that we're indifferent about so far. So
yeah, but number one I'm just like 100% excited for is definitely Evil Dead Rise. I am.
Oh God, yeah.
I would even be as bold enough to say I'm getting wet over it.
It like, made me a tad bit moist.
It's I'm excited for that shit. Again, visceral, raw blood and just graphic of the first one. I was just like, oh. I am so excited for that.
The only thing my only complaint, honestly, would have to be the fact that it took them so long to come out with a sequel. Like
I feel that. I wouldn't really complain about that. Just because, like, even if they did it as a one and done, I thought they did a fantastic job. Continuing it now is like where I'm like, I want to see how they're going to push this series, because like I know it's again and the modern world, like in public kind of thing. So I want to see how they're going to do that, because it's like if you ever hear the chant, you're affected by this thing. So we're just kind of seeing how that goes, because this could be either one of those, hey, this is just your average sequel, and then we're going to find another way to tell this story, or it's going to be like, hey, we're going to take this concept and run with it, and then that's how you get your millions and millions of Saws and Nightmares and Fridays.
Yeah,
and blah, 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 blah. That's why I'm like, nervous.
Yeah, I got to agree. Like, I'm hoping that this one, it's coming across as good as the first one did. So that's what I'm hoping, that this one continues with it being Sam Raimi again. I'm excited for it. I'm just hoping that it doesn't turn into the next Friday the 13th. It doesn't turn into the next
it's not just this slasher series in the sense, or demonic possession series. Yeah, no, I get that. But like, I love how genuinely uncomfortable you feel in some of those scenes, just how they're shot and like menacing or whatever. It's like this is horrifying. Like I absolutely love how that the looks and feels in a sense, especially in the first one, but like for the trailer where it's just the whole like where you hear the open up and it's looking through the peephole itself. That look, I'm just like, that is so menacing. I love it. And it's just like how the makeup is done, how that angle is. It just so much looks so good that way. Mm-hmm. But I can't wait to see what they do. I'm just excited.
What actually really like made me really excited for it was when I saw the part where the trailer where she was in the bathtub and the little girl goes, "Mommy," and she goes, "Mommy's with the worms," and then just
I'm like, it's the ceiling.
I'm like, oh, we're coming off strong on this one. I like it.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for what that's going to be. I mean, again, biasism because it's the Evil Dead Evil Dead series and so on and so forth. I understand my biasism is going to overtake on that, but yeah, no, I'm 100% excited.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm excited for it too. It's one of those ones where I'm like, I'm hoping that date gets here quicker. I'm hoping it comes out because it comes out this month.
Yeah, just for 2 weeks. I gotta wait fucking like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like, damn it. Because it's always when it gets down to like the hair to where it just feels like time just drags on for something you're excited for. And you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah. And when you're not paying attention, and so it's like, oh shit, it's already here.
Yeah. You just wake up one day and you're like, I feel like I should be doing something. Oh,
yeah, exactly. That's when you're just like, yep, I can't wait to go home and get ready.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it. And it's just going to be.
I'm 100% excited for that.
I honestly expected them to do a sequel to it right after the first one was made. Like I was expecting it to be like a yearly franchise type of deal. And
I'm so glad it's not.
Yes. I was going to say,
God,
I, for one, am happy that they took their time with whatever they took their time with on this one to make it better. Because if they would have just done a continuance to the first one, then it would have turned into, I feel like it would have, even with Sam Raimi, if he would have stayed on as a director, it would have continued to turn into like the next Saw or Friday the 13th, to where it was just like, oh.
I actually let it get that bad, but I know what you're getting with it. Yeah, that's always my biggest fear is like you get this, like, again, I'll praise like Oculus, and then you get a million Oculus spawns from the same director and stuff. Although
or Ouija,
just so many different things. But yeah, no, I mean, good, better, and different. I'm excited as fuck for it.
Oddly enough, I saw a B horror movie that was supposed to be its own version of Ouija, but instead of it being Ouija, it just said bored. So nice. I was like, what?
What do we come up with a title? Can't use that one. That one's been copyrighted already. Bored.
I was like, what? And I watched it, and it was literally almost exactly to the T, the exact same story. And I was like,
they were not shameless in ripping this off.
Yeah, I was dumbfounded by it. I was like, someone needs to make a phone call about this.
Sketchy.
It's like, wow, how original and breathtaking this was in the first time I seen it.
Right. And I've seen this before.
And the acting was so bad because she was like, oh, it has to do with and it like slowly panoramic zooms in on her face. The Ouija board. And I was like, what? What?
I didn't realize we're still in the fucking 90s.
It's like, oh, I'm in the house, Sydney.
Yeah, for real.
What the?
Oh, also, that's actually the new Scream is actually very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed what it was. I notice I like what it is, but it's hard because Wes is not part of the project anymore. So like that love feeling is just gone to me. They're catering very well to it. They're doing very, very good. Just Wes's feeling.
Yeah. I had a very big biasism towards anything that Wes Craven made. Like, even if someone absolutely hated any of the Friday the 13th, or not, God dang it, any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, even New Nightmares, no, I know I'm going to catch shit for that. But, like, I loved anything that Wes Craven made, directed, wrote, like anything that he did. It was just one of those things where it was like, I'm gonna watch that. Definitely gonna watch it because it had his name on it. Like just
him and Romero are like two of the top ones I would always do that with. They could do no wrong.
Yeah, like Wes Craven could have just simply farted in the background and been like guest starring Wes Craven, and I'd have been like, I'm watching it, and as soon as you just see it like pan to where it shows his face, and you just hear, it's like there he is.
We're good. Got what I wanted. I came for you.
It's like, yay, Wes Craven.
For real. No, I 100% that way with certain directors and or writers specifically.
Yeah.
Like I said, James Wan, Lee Winnell are like two of the prime examples. I will always like, I don't care what they do. It could be like the cheesiest, stupidest thing. I'm there. It could be the world's greatest thing. I'm there.
Like they could reboot the original Scooby-Doo franchise from like the live action movies, and I would still watch it just because it has their name on it. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that 100%. They could do a Barbie movie, which my wife is trying to drag me to go see that, and I'm not going to. But they could do like a Barbie movie, and I'd be like, I said I never would, but they did it. I'm doing it.
It's not horror, babe. Not interested. But yeah, like I get it. I'm with you on that one. But I think this is a good place to wrap it up.
Jesus, we almost went for 2 hours again.
Did we? Oh yeah, an hour 45. So that's not bad. We went over a lot of movies. There was a lot of movies.
We definitely went through 15 minminimum, which is the original list, and then went on with a couple on there.
Yeah,
and we did our usual. Hey, we're gonna start here, and then. Oh, that's right. Second question.
Yeah,
and I love that we do that.
Yeah, and I mean, and what's funny is that even if we branch off from that original question, it always ties back into the first question that one of us asked.
We circle right back to it, be like, oh, by the way, since we were talking about this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and both of us like, oh yeah, right.
We got sidetracked. Sorry.
But yeah, that's the list of movies that are coming out for 2023. I'm honestly gonna say that this year is probably a good one for games, movies, books, etc. Whatever's coming out as far as horror is concerned. A lot of darker themed stuff that's coming out as well. I think anything that comes out this year is probably going to be the year for horror, just because we're in one of those odd numbered years where it seems like everyone's taking their own spin on something new, whether it be an acting role, directing.
Hopefully. Yes. But yeah, no, people are taking on more responsibilities and more roles within the same thing, so they're not having to deal with X, Y, and Z. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm just a little nervous when with a lot of it right now, because I don't want to see the horror genre or anything like that be like run and burn to the ground, like with the whole zombies aspect that was happening, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah. Mostly like I'd say about like between 10 and 20 years ago, because I mostly blame like The Walking Dead, World War Z. I mean, a lot of books based off of that. Like, don't get me wrong, love Max Brooks, love World War Z and stuff, but
yeah,
I can't stand like when one thing is just overdrawn in almost everything, because how many zombie games did we have? How many fucking zombie shows were trying to come out and all this other stuff? It was like, oh my god. I'm sorry, that was the time frame where I got burnt out with zombies. Like we had, because they had like 2 Resident Evil movies get released in the same year. Excuse me, a new Resident Evil game come out. Good. Yeah, which was good.
And then they had The Walking Dead. They had what was it? They had a new
like Dying Light. They were trying to push for Back 4 Blood was starting to come out like not that long ago, but like just a lot of more like Dead Island was coming out, more Dead Risings were coming out, all that fun jazz. Again, don't get me wrong, the games are fun for what they are, but it's like there's only so much of like zombie-esque things you can do before you're like another zombie game.
Yeah, because like I remember I bought Dead Island. And then they came like right after I bought Dead Island, which was used, but it was brand new for my PS4. They came out with another Dead Rising. I think it was Dead Rising 3 or 4. I was like, oh my god! I took Dead Island back the same day. I was just like, I'm done with zombies for this whole year. I am done with zombies.
Yeah, no. Sorry for outside noise, but yeah, no, you're fine. It's definitely one of those like, it's not fucking. I don't want to see it overdone, because like there has been a little bit more, or a lot more, especially like with the list we wrote off, a lot more religious horror coming out. There's a lot more like paranormal and bringing back creature features a lot more. And I just don't want to see them only run with those ideas and then be done,
they're like,
or have too many out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this one movie made 4 times its amount spent in the box office its first week out. We're gonna make more of that, and it's like, oh my god, no. Like I that's why I'm excited for Evil Dead to come out, but I don't want the hype to cause it to turn into
the franchise that we loathe, or a franchise that we loathe because of more often than they should.
Yeah, that's
I 100% agree. Hopefully it's not, knock on wood, but
yeah. But that's what I don't want to see happen. I hope it doesn't happen. Hopefully, please, Sam Raimi, make it good to where it doesn't happen like it did with Wes Craven and Nightmare on Elm Street. As much as I love Wes Craven, like I feel like some of his, like he could have took his time on a couple of the later Nightmare on Elm Streets closer to the 90s.
Well, he just became an executive producer at that point, just so maybe wasn't like fucking fully taken advantage of. But yeah, no, it especially like 5 and 6. Was it Dream Master, Dream Child, Dream Warriors, Dream Master, Dream Child, Dream Master, Dream Child, and Freddy is Dead. 4, 5, and 6 are like the main ones that like you could see they was trying to do like a better storytelling, but it got cheesier in the sense at the same time. So it's like what it gained, it lost, and when it lost, it really lost.
Out of the ones you just listed, honestly, my favorite out of that specific list was Dream Warriors, because it made it to where it wasn't like, oh, we got to pull him out of the dream to get rid of him.
No, like 3 is my 100% favorite. I think number 3 is the best. Dream Warriors is the best one. Dream Master's really good. Dream Child's okay. I mean, I understand where they're going with the blah 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 blah, but Freddy's Dead 6 is not one of my favorites. Dream Child's not one of my favorites, but I tolerate it. Same with like Dream Master, but Dream Warriors, Dream Warriors are like the only 2 I will be like praising to the day I die. I mean, I can tolerate New Nightmare, I can tolerate the remake and blah 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 blah, but like Dream Warriors, man.
Dream Warriors was that one, because they were like in the dream and they're like, wait, we're asleep, we're in dreams, we can do anything. Superhero.
Pretty much. But like my favorite thing about that whole like number 3 overall, like my favorite scene is still where he fucking gets the kid and slices all of his tendons out and is using him as a fucking puppet. That's still one of my favorite scenes. I absolutely love that scene. That's
iconic. I still remember to this day in the 90s how everybody had the poster shirt, the shirt with the poster of that movie where you have Freddy's claw and then his face in the sky, and then you got the tendons and the sinews running down to the guy as he's getting ready to walk off the friggin'.
It's so good. It's so good. It's fantastic.
Yep. Spoilers on a 30-year-old movie, by the way.
Don't say that. Wait, no, I think it's older than that. I think Dream Warriors was like 88.
Yeah. So it'd be 35 this year.
35. Oh my god. Why is this doing this right now? I'm very curious now. Hold on. Before we end, I need to see this now.
Yeah. I want to say that. I want to say it was either
87. 87 was Dream Warriors. That is a fucking 36-year-old movie.
We're showing our age. Hello, gray hairs. We're showing our age here. But yeah, I still remember as a kid seeing that t-shirt on like a friend's uncle or something like that and being like, I like that, because that was the original cinematic movie poster. And oddly enough, there was a one that sold on eBay for like close to couple $1,000. I don't remember exactly how much, but it was signed by both Wes Craven and Robert Englund.
Yeah. No, my favorite poster I ever used for that is the one that they used on the box art for the VHS and stuff, is where he's got his claw and you have all of them standing on the claw. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I did like that. I want to see more. Like, as much as I love the horror genre itself, I want to see more creative cover art and not just the monster of the thing just staring at you like this.
The thing with most of it, they did a study on this, which is the reason why they don't do the posters that they want to, like multicolored ones or shadow ones or whatever, is because the demographics when they do this to like target audiences to see the reaction and stuff like that. They don't recognize any faces or names or anything like that. So they're like, I don't know who this is, so I'm not going to go see it, because people base their films off of that. Most moviegoers, like your average, Brad Pitt's in that, I'm going to go see it. Stuff like that.
Like Bullet Train, that had Brad Pitt and everybody hyped it up, and then it was like, it's okay.
All right. I prefer Smoking Aces because it felt like the same story, but I like Smoking Aces better.
Yeah, but yeah, like the Nun 2 cover that I saw of it was literally just Nun, or the Nun across the top with Roman numeral 2 in the U, and then the friggin' the Nun just staring at you, and I was just like,
oh, Valak just fall.
Yeah, like her like entire upper torso and her just staring at you, and I was like, yeah, you could have done that a little bit better.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can have gone about that, but that's neither here or there.
Yeah. But I just miss the creative posters that we had when we like, what was it for Freddy versus Jason, where it was like you seen the fire and then
there's so much more that you can do with them. But again, those target demographics that they're advertising to is like, oh, I don't recognize anybody, so I'm not going to go see it. So that's why they're doing more like, here you are, here's in your face, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of old tropes I'd like to see back, but like the whole.
I agree.
Like the new Winnie the Pooh movie. By the way, do not see it. It is not that
bad.
I
want to see it just to say I saw it and see what kind of horror aspects they go about it, but I'm not going in expecting gold.
I'm gonna say this: if you can avoid wasting your money on it, do so, because it's not one of those ones where it's ticket worthy. Like
fair enough.
Like wait for it to stream. If you want to see it, watch it. That's fine. But like it's one of those ones where you go in not expecting anything and you still somehow get disappointed. I was just like
one of those ones. Oh, I gotta love those ones.
But yeah, I'm not gonna give any spoilers out because I've done that before by accident, and it was just one of those ones where I was like, why? Damn it, why?
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so I think that's a good note to end on because we're at an hour 56.
I told you, because we always do these downwind times. I love it.
Yeah. But I guess from me, I'll see you when I see you. On the next one, I guess, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. If we don't have a topic by then, go ahead, leave us suggestions. That's always a good thing to help us out too.
Yeah, because I feed off of other people's energy. That's why I brought this idea up to Miz, is because we both feed off of each other's energy so well, and we both have different takes on stuff. So like I might see something that he doesn't, and he might see something that I don't, and then he might have a different opinion, back and forth, and we're just figuring stuff out as we go.
Like we were like just right now when we were going down the list of movies, where it's like, I'm excited for this, I'm going to probably pass on it. I'm not excited for this, I'm probably going to go see it. It's like having different opinions, because if you had everybody listen to you like and agree with you the exact same way, it's not fun.
Yeah, especially to me, because we would just be sitting here and be like, we got this movie coming out November 27th. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it too. Okay, next one. You know
exactly. And even if we do go down the list of reasons, it's still going to be like, yeah, we're both excited for it. That's all you need to know. It's not as you got to give more to it just than that. So it's just better vibing with someone that, like, whether you guys have the same line of thinking, just different views of the same thing is the best way to really describe that.
Because I mean, I have to agree, because that's how I learn, honestly, is because I learn from different views, different points of views, different opinions, what have you. And it's like, okay, I can kind of see it that way. Because when you were talking about when I was talking about the War of the Worlds, you were like, well, I love this. I love the original. I love this one for this reason, even though it had Tom Cruise in it. And then I was like, you know what? That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
And it's just small things. It's not like forcing the change of mind or anything. But it's like, okay, I understand that reason better than, saying you're excited because of whatever other reason, Yeah. Like, oh, I like it because, like, I'm going to call us both out, but it's like, I like it because Rosario Dawson's in it. Oh, shit.
Yeah. I was like, because when I was reading it, it just sounded like they were respinning the tale originally when I first read it. And then I was like, oh, Rosario Dawson's in it. And then I saw Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, and I was like, really? Okay. Now I'm kind of a little bit more interested.
Yeah, I read a little bit more on this. Now you piqued my curiosity.
Like at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see it just to see Rosario Dawson. Like, yeah. And then I seen Danny DeVito, and I was like, you know what? I like stuff that Danny DeVito's in. He doesn't do too bad on the comedic aspect of anything.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I think there's a petition that I don't know if it was a real petition or a joke petition, but there's a bunch of people like if Disney ever does a live action Hercules, definitely Danny DeVito's got to be back as Phil.
Yeah, I like if he's not back as Phil, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it was like the really hard thing with like Aladdin, not having Robin Williams in it, but
yeah.
Will Smith and I can't remember the actress that plays Jasmine are the only two things that saved that movie. That movie is like not the best in my opinion. It could have been. I have to agree. Certain spots of that movie, but yeah, it's not one of the good ones. I still think right now that I have seen personally, I still haven't seen Lion King, but I think Beauty and the Beast is the best live action adaptation they've done.
That's fair.
That's just my personal opinion, though.
I think that with Beauty and the Beast being the first live action adaptation that they did was what sparked all the other live action adaptations, because Beauty and the Beast did really well.
They did, but they already had a lot of that planned, honestly. I mean, look at Dumbo and so on and so forth. But like there's some I'm excited for them to do. There's a lot that I'm not. I did hear they just announced that they're going to do like Moana or something. But yeah, we'll see how they go. If I want to see any of them really brought to like live action that are like animated, apparently like one they are doing is Aristocats, which I'm kind of excited for, but kind of nervous for because that
I feel like that's going to be heavy 70s. CGI.
Oh, it definitely is. 100% is. But it's going to be in the 70s. That movie came out like 71 or some shit. I don't remember.
I think it actually came out in like the 60s or 50s.
I don't remember. I know it's a very, very old movie. But it's like some of the themes that were in there or some of the things that are like said. It's like, how are you guys going to just kind of whoop, whoop?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know. I'm neither excited nor shitting on any of the live actions coming out.
Yeah, we'll see. For me, we'll see. Because I was kind of standoffish when it came to the Aladdin one because it didn't have Robin Williams in it. But when I found an interview from Will Smith where he was like, I took my inspiration from Robin Williams as Genie, and I want to pay all respects to him in helping me create my own Genie. I was like, okay, you know what? You got the benefit of the doubt. I like Will Smith as an actor, and the fact that he's taking inspiration from Will Smith, or that Will Smith is taking inspiration from Robin Williams. I'm a big Robin Williams fan. I love anything that he's in. Bicentennial Man, Mrs. Doubtfire, friggin'
Fern Gully.
Definitely Fern Gully. Aladdin, the original. Like anything that he was in, anything that he voice acted.
There's so many iconic things. He really has.
Yeah.
Jumanji, Flubber. What was it? 6 Hour Photo. Good Will Hunting. There's so many. Good Morning Vietnam. Like he's a fantastic actor. But no, it's big shoes to fill, and that's why I know like Will got a lot of hate for it. And it's like he's not trying to ruin or misstep in it. He was doing his own thing, but he tried to impersonate or embody that like joyful spirit that Robin did.
Yeah, and that's what made me actually kind of like the movie in that aspect was that but I think we covered a lot of ground because that's a lot that pretty much covers all of 2023.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And then I mean, we'll see what everyone suggests from that one, and then at the same time we can definitely come up with more of our own for sure. Yeah,
because that's always fun to learn from new aspects, learn new things, and do our own thing with the new things that we learn.
And combine it all, shuffle cards.
52 card pickup. What's the first one we got? What horror movies do you not like? Oh, the list.
Oh yeah. I mean, I usually appreciate or can take apart from almost all the horror movies, but like there's a movie that I'm like, oh yeah, it's bad. No, that list goes on.
Oh yeah,
just that one.
There's so much, but yeah. So for me, to all of you out there, hope to see you next time. And Ms.
I'll see you next time. I'm really bad at outros and intros, so yeah.
Same.
All I got, bye.
But much love out there from both of us. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.